Happy wife, happy life! Happy husband, happy project! Okay! 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 Happy wife, happy life!
Long-lasting scars can result from family conflict that reaches a breaking point. In this case, Atlanta fans of hip-hop and love were front row seats to an unexpected collapse, with his mother Judy and wife Yandy all living under one roof and attempting to resolve their issues for years after what started as a family. Get Together turned into one of the show's most terrifying scenes ever. At first, everything seemed manageable between Yandy and Judy, but when Judy accused Yandy of being controlling, the environment became heated, angry words were exchanged, and feelings were aroused. Yandy felt degraded, and the Fishers' relationship was challenging to ignore began to flare up, and then in a startling turn of events, Judy slapped Yandy. The audience fell silent as the gravity of what had just happened set in. Let's go back in time because this isn't just about a single slap. It's about years of unresolved tension erupting all at once. Yandy took a step back and I froze. The unavoidable situation of having to decide between his mother and his wife was the kind of unadulterated drama that makes you forget you're watching a television program rather than someone's actual life playing out in real time.
Rumors and stuff that what people saying is not true. This is what I've been saying the whole time. I don't know that girl. I just want her to be treated.
Judy and Young's relationship has been rocky from the start. Although Judy has never been afraid to voice her ideas, she and Yandy often disagree on anything from family matters to personal boundaries. Over time, small disputes became increasingly heated since Judy often felt that Yandy was. As a result of taking care of her son's life, her own Yandy represented change, which was not necessarily the kind she wanted. As a result, he found that although Judy frequently accused Yandy of being impolite, Yandy felt that Judy was going too far and would not accept her as Minnie's partner, much less the head of their household, and was constantly mediating, and over the years, the tension between the two women he loved most, Judgment and Yandy, became a persistent undercurrent in their relationship. As a loving son, he wanted to respect his mother's feelings, but as a husband, he had to prioritize Yandy's wants. Encounters leading up to a point that would push everyone to the brink despite his best efforts. Both of them often felt abandoned, which increased their animosity. The family had previously tried to mend the divisions, but on the surface, those attempts usually failed. Looked like a chance to resolve conflicts, but the atmosphere was anything but peaceful. What had begun as a peaceful family moment quickly turned into a scene that will never be forgotten. The conversation started off civilly enough, but when old wounds were brought up again, the tension increased and the scrub duty accused Yandy. When the heated disagreement reached a breaking point, Yandy felt attacked and pushed back as a result of her manipulation and disrespect in the family. Wondering why Judy didn't seem to come to terms with her, Judy suddenly lost her temper and the room fell silent as everyone processed what had happened. It wasn't just a slap, it was years worth of resentment and anger exploding in one action. Despite the insult, I froze in an impossible situation because his mother, who had raised him, had crossed the line, but confronting her way of put. His wife had recently been treated disrespectfully in their home, putting their already fragile relationship in jeopardy.
Happening for a while now. Confrontation. Two people don't know each other.
But you just gonna let your husband somebody else? You told me why am I? Don't first of all, you know everybody in Atlanta and everybody knows you. That's not gonna talk to him, but I am. What are you gonna do?
When I saw that things couldn't continue, I took command, calmed Yandy down, and then turned to Judy and told her that sometimes the hardest choices are the ones that force you to choose between love and loyalty. Her actions were justified by claiming that she had been provoked and that Yandy had initially treated her disrespectfully. But for me, this wasn't about picking sides. Rather, it was about setting boundaries. "I love you, Mom," he said in an impassioned tone. Making this decision wasn't simple, but Messi knew what he had to do to keep his home stable, so he asked Judy to go. The seriousness of that circumstance was clear, and Judy promised to remember that asking his own mother to go wasn't only a boundary. Rather, it was a devastating acknowledgement that some relationships require difficult love. He also sat down in quiet when Judy left him. Although the slap may have been the drama's high point, Yandy's perspective on the aftermath left the Harris home divided after Judy left, and Yandy turned to her close friends. The emotional toll of the incident, which is still visible on his face, is not healed just because the dust has settled. For Coffee to process what had happened and release her frustration after years of being mistreated in her own home. Shortly after her departure, Yandy was overcome with a mix of weariness and hurt. I said, "I've always tried to make things work out for him. but how many times must I act like the larger person that she disregards me? Yandy discussed the challenges of living with someone who was constantly observing her. It wasn't easy, and while she was thankful that Mem had defended her, she couldn't help but wonder why it had taken so long. This specific episode covered years of after asking his mother to leave. MC struggled with his own emotions and became caught up in a cycle of guilt because he felt Judy didn't respect her role as M's wife and the mother of his children. Even though he knew he had made the right decision for his family, it didn't make it any easier in a private moment with a close friend. That's my mom, who has always been there for me, and I know she only wants what's best, but Yandy is my wife. How can I let her feel unsafe or disrespected in her own right, he said, revealing his inner battle.
Leave it. Okay.
Oh, with a kiss. Okay. That's how you feel?
Living like a prisoner in my own house is never fun.
You know, it's kind of like that thing when we say Bloody Mary 3 times when they're here. Somebody in my house will say Bloody Mary 3 times because she appeared. Luckily, I have a booking in Houston so I can get out of this nightmare.
What you mean living like a prisoner?
It feels like I'm a prisoner in my own house. But anyway, I'm leaving to go to Houston.
Good, right.
Good.
Good.
In my house, sitting on my couch, she said,
It's not your house.
Before I leave this house, you should give me a genuine apology.
I gotta apologize. I'm not doing no cartwheels for you.
For months, it was more than just taking sides. It was about balancing the duties of a loving husband and a loyal son. The consequences of his decision followed him around, making it hard to rejoice over the boundaries he had finally set on. The opposite side of the city, Judy, on the other hand, was venting to a friend over a glass of wine because she was having trouble with her own feelings of betrayal and loneliness. She said, "I raised him, I've been there through thick and thin, and now he's siding with me. I can't believe this, Judy." Felt like her lap wasn't just about being angry. It was also about defending herself in a home where she felt unwelcome. The drama didn't stop in the Harris household. It spread to the public sphere, and fans' reactions to the situation were all over social media. One user said that it was time for him to take charge and set boundaries because my place in my life was ending, and Yandy had manipulated the situation to push her out in her eyes. Many people praised M for finally taking charge and setting boundaries, saying it was a necessary step to protect his wife and kids. One more was added, whether you're with your family or not. I agree with her that saying goodbye to a child can be challenging, especially if you feel like someone else is taking your place. Disputes pertaining to family Instagram and Twitter posts frequently highlighted the dynamics and boundaries of blended homes. Discussions while some viewers praised the tough love approach, others questioned whether going into exile was the wisest course of action. This episode prompted many viewers to discuss their own experiences with in-law relationships and the challenges of maintaining loyalty. Highlights of the Harris family's turmoil. The decision to ask his mother to leave was an act of love for his wife, his children, and even Judy, even though it may not have felt that way at the time because it prevented Grace from moving on with her life. This illustrates the universal challenges of finding a balance between love, loyalty, and respect from the Indies. Love, Grace. The Harris family's future is uncertain, but one thing is certain, this is a turning point. How they handle the fallout will determine whether it causes sentiments or divisions. It will cause shame in any relationship. Insisting on receiving respectful treatment, love without respect breeds conflict, as demonstrated by Men's decision to stand up and even Judy's frustration. The conflict between Mendeecees, Yandy, and Judy has reached a breaking point, and while viewers wait to see what happens next, they will look at how they attempt to rebuild trust and move on. People are already debating whether there will be any. Although patching the rift won't be easy, viewers will be watching to see if Judy will take the first move towards repairing her friendship with Yandy and if Mendy can mediate between the two without hurting anyone. The future is uncertain but full of opportunities, and this occurrence has had a profound effect on their family every day. If he can find a way to restore harmony to the Harris household, whether it be through heartfelt conversations about setting boundaries or just time. These days, interactions and conversations are more dynamic and emotionally charged. Judy will also need to think about how her actions produced a rift, and Yandy might begin to question her bounds more than before, especially if she faces resistance to her attempts to maintain harmony with her son, which could be more challenging to recover from but over time. What do you guys think? Should I have handled it differently? Or did I make the right choice? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below.